Hello and welcome to Topham Chats. This week, my guest yet again is Spencer or Grenou off the Rooster Teeth site. Hey man, how's it going?
Hello. I am really tired today.
Oh no.
I got 3 hours sleep last night. That's it.
Ooh, ouch,
Yeah,
ouch.
dad life, yo.
Yeah, I can imagine. How's it all going? Because yeah, it's been a while since I've spoken to
Generally,
you.
really, really good.
Yeah,
He started walking about 3 weeks after his first birthday, which was in August, and he
yep,
scared the crap out of me when he did it.
yeah.
Because neither one of us expected him to be walking. So
Uh-huh.
I literally picked him up out of the kitchen because he was under my feet while I was trying to make supper. Brought him
Yeah.
into the living room, popped him on his 2 feet, expecting him to fall on his arse like he usually does.
Yep.
Instead, he started walking towards his mom on the couch, and he had 3 steps in before I realized what was going on. I was, look. So that's how that happened. But yeah,
Ah.
generally it's going pretty good. But he had a rough night last night. He woke up coughing about 2:30 in the morning,
Nah, fair enough.
having a bit of an issue breathing. So, but it's all
Yeah.
taken care of now. He's hanging out today, being his good old self.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Cool. Yeah. So, I've got a bunch of things to talk about, all of which I've
Okay.
forgotten, now that I'm not looking at what I had written down. Yes.
No, you're
That's
not.
a whole
Technically, you're
story.
not looking at what you had written down. Technically, you're looking at a photo of what you had
Photo of
written
what I've written
down.
down because I forgot it. I left it at work. Of course I did. So, yeah. Since we last spoke, you said last time you were like, oh yes, you will be very excited about the next track that's coming out from Jeremy. And
Yeah.
yeah, out came Terrorize, and it's awesome. And I was like, I should try
Oh,
and do
thanks.
some guitar stuff to that. But I had my guitar set in drop C, so I was like, oh yeah, I can make this heavier and have some fun with that. Because you said the key that it was in, I was like, oh yeah. So how do you feel about it? Like now it's come out and you're just like, oh, this is a song.
I'm incredibly proud of it.
Yeah.
Incredibly proud of it. Um, I didn't get to see the final video until after it was released a couple days after RTX, but I
Uh-huh.
saw an early rough cut before RTX, before they had all the final effects and all that stuff put in.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be an amazing video. I knew right then and there. And just the final touches that Jeremy and the crowds put on it
Uh-huh.
were astonishing. But musically, I'm incredibly pleased with how it turned out. It pushed a lot of my personal boundaries, and
Mhm.
that's only led to better things since. So I'm really happy with that.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, I really like how it's a lot of vocals and stuff in the verse and the choruses is all built up and I very much like how it's put together. I'll say
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun on it. I gotta say.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's been a while since I've listened to it now. I'm just like, yes, I'm just struggling to try and remember. But the way he writes is just so fascinating. He's so good at what he does. He's just
Yeah, and I mean, this was another example of basically same thing kind of happened with as with happened with Tower of Pimps. He'd get an idea, he'd ask me about it if I could throw something to that idea. I'd come
mhm.
back with something that had a slight twist of my own on it. That would spur him to have another idea, and it went back and forth this way. We were each other's muses. It was fantastic. I love working with that
Cool.
guy, man. Holy crap!
Yeah. Ah, awesome. So it's as the musical side is as much your work as it is his, right?
Oh,
Or
absolutely, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Very, very interesting. Is there anything else coming up soon, or if you've been working
No,
on, or is it just
there's actually
nothing for a
nothing
while?
in the pipes Rooster Teeth related anyway.
Mm-hmm.
For now, but I mean, I think after all the work that went into Terrorize, both on the musical side of it, as well as, but in particular the video side of it, I think it was quite labor intensive, and it's all the better for it. But I think everybody kind of needed a break after that.
Yeah.
And I think they've all, I mean, but then again, as soon as that was done, they were, elbows deep into RTX. And then there was cool down from RTX. And I mean, now
Mm-hmm.
there's whatever, everything else that's going on there. So I just don't think there's been any time or there hasn't been any drive to do anything just yet. And that's fine because, um, if and when there is something else, it's going to be a really good idea. I can tell. It's
Yeah.
always a good idea.
Yeah. Cool. So, what are you making of Rooster Teeth at the moment? Like the website and the content that they're putting out, because it's not something that I typically touch on that much of like what I think of the content right now, but it's something I should think about a bit more.
The content, I'm actually liking the content. I'm actually getting myself. I'm finding myself getting more and more into the funhouse side of stuff because their videos are 10, 15 minutes usually in length. They're usually pretty funny. They're cut together in a slightly different way than the regular Achievement Hunter / Rooster Teeth stuff is usually done.
Yep.
And it's a nice change. Now, I haven't abandoned Rooster Teeth videos or Achievement Hunter videos or anything like that. I still try and consume as much as possible. Although that being said, I haven't watched this week's podcast yet, so I really should do that at some point. That'll probably happen on Monday.
I'm on episode 342, and I've skipped 341 of the podcast, and I know they're 345 or 346 this week. So I'm really behind on podcasts.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm missing, the newest one.
Yeah.
But the website for me, it's a little less functional, and I kind of figured it was going to be a little less functional starting off the gate. I mean, they're gradually being able to reincorporate a few things from the old website. But it's been a little bit dodgy for me getting back on there because at this point, the only place I can really surf the website is at my office because I have a very old tablet at home that doesn't really talk to the new website very well at all. And other than that, I just have my Android phone. And basically, I can get to the website. But if I click on anything, it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of hangs there. Now, that being said, the Rooster Teeth app has been great for watching videos, but in terms of interacting with the community and all that stuff on there, I basically cannot do it from home right now. And that kind of bothers me a bit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you said you commented on one of my things the other day, but it showed up as absolutely nothing at all. So I just wrote a comment back saying hi with a question mark. I was just like, well, that's the site not particularly working.
I had a bunch of stuff just vaporize into the ether in terms of like comments on other people's journals and pictures and stuff. And one of them was yours. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, you. And what I had there was actually quite funny and witty, and it went. And I know you would have found it funny.
Yeah.
And it just it vanished. And I was like, well, cockbitery. And that was it. And so I had a little tiny bit of a vent as to that kind of technical glitchy stuff on it. But other than that, I mean, it's okay. It's going through some growing pains. It'll get better. I know that.
Yeah, it'll get better, and that's what we're all hoping for. So then once the functionality's up to where we want it to be, hopefully there'll be more people flocking around it because at the moment it's a bit quiet.
Yeah, I think tagging other users just got back online couple days ago or something like that?
It's working properly now, and so I'm going to the right places for all the tags that I see around.
Right. Excellent. Good.
Yeah, because someone tagged me and they're like, yes, the only things I really see active are like my journals. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm getting mentioned there. And then like forums as well. They're still going on, but like
yeah. That's something I've been trying to get. I'm going to try and get back into is the forum stuff because I've been sort of MIA from that for a while, and that was even before the website shift.
Yeah,
you know, but. I mean, things have been so busy here at the office. I mean, since the last time you and I spoke, I actually went to the Smithsonian for 4 days, and I've been absolutely, raftered with work ever since I got back because everything that I learned in the 4 days I was at the Smithsonian Folkways Archive in terms of audio restoration, which is my regular day job here at the university, Memorial University of Newfoundland. I learned so much in those 4 days that I couldn't wait to just come back and exercise everything that I learned in those 4 days on everything that I've done in the past year. But I had such a backlog of stuff that I had yet to tackle that I had to abandon that idea and just tackle whatever I've been at and try and get the workload off my desk. I mean, you can't see it on the Skype thing right now, but there's a box of cassettes in the back of my office on the back desk. There's 232 cassettes in it. I've got three of them done.
Oh my!
Yeah, and they're all like 45, 60-minute cassettes. So, but they're actually of reasonably good sound quality because they were recorded in the past 15 years. So the interview, aside from some machine noise and all that stuff, it shouldn't take too long to go through them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm.
So, yeah, you said about the podcast, and I'm curious, like, what other podcasts do you listen to, or is it just like the Rooster Teeth one, the Patch, and the Funhouse ones
Uh,
as well?
Generally, it's the Rooster Teeth one. I try to take in yours whenever I can. Um,
Big smile on this end.
I try to take in Stewart's whenever Mass Halo Gear's podcast whenever I see that one show up. I haven't seen that one show up in a while though. That's the only thing. Has he done one recently?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, I didn't think so. I try to take in that one. There's a handful of random ones there. If they're only like say a half hour, 45 minutes long, I can probably sneak them in a little bit easier than I could say if it was like a full hour one. Like
Yeah.
I want to take in the Funhouse one, but it's an hour
Yes.
of my day that I just don't have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I really like the Dude Soup podcast. It is the one that I listen to primarily of like all of the ones on the Rooster Teeth network.
Yeah.
Like that's the one I prioritize of all of them. But
Yeah.
that's just because I like hearing their opinions. I stopped
Yeah.
listening to their FAQ cast as well, but yeah, I've got plenty of time in my lab at the moment because I'm not having to listen to everything all the time. That I can just like bang through so many podcasts in a week.
Yeah, there used to be a couple of pro audio ones that I used to listen to, but I had to stop just because I didn't have time to listen to it. Because I mean, while I'm at work, I mean, technically, I'm supposed to be listening to whatever the hell I'm working on.
Yes, yeah,
as opposed to something else. Now that being said, it doesn't stop me from picking up the occasional YouTube video or Let's Play while I'm waiting for a cassette to dump in or something like that, because that's 45 minutes that I'll basically be sitting there with my thumb in various orifices. So
fair enough.
Might as well do something, you know.
Yeah, might as well, right? So I've been listening to a podcast called Switched On Pop, which is all about pop music.
Oh.
And I'm just like, oh, pop music's terrible and all this, but they break it down. They say, oh, these are the notes that this person uses to kind of evoke this emotion, or these are the intervals that they're using to, like, the characteristic of their music, or this piece of music has been informed by this classical music in the past, and like the songwriters, they're two songwriters who like dissect popular music and like
they reverse engineer it almost, so to speak.
Yeah, basically they reverse engineer what there is to like understand where all the influences are coming from, like how the music's been informed, and like they break down the lyrics as well and look at like what kind of thing there are, how the songs will put together, like whether it's telling a story or whether it's got a big chorus and things like that. They've only done like 20 episodes or so, but
I think I'd be interested in that one.
A very fascinating listen. And yeah, they've got instruments with them, and they've got like the ability to auto-tune themselves and like sing properly, and so they're like, oh yeah, they play these chords on the piano and they make sense, or they go to like weird chords and like this chord doesn't fit in this key, and they explain it and break it down in a way that makes you think like, they're doing like they talk about Taylor Swift for a whole episode, and they're just like, I'm just like, oh, Taylor Swift doesn't know anything, and like it's just pop music that I don't care about. And then they break it down, and I'm just like, oh my god, Taylor Swift's a genius.
Yeah,
like, wow.
Yeah. That I gotta say, her music is a little more interesting than a lot of the stuff that's out there right now.
Yeah.
There's a woman I'm listening to these days, Ingrid Michaelson.
Yes, she was on the Nerdist podcast a few months ago. And
she was.
Yeah, because I was on a train down to London, and I listened to the podcast with her, and it was fascinating. But she's, as far as I'm aware, she sings very cleanly with no swearing or anything like that for her concerts.
You would be correct, yeah.
And in the podcast, she was like, "Kids, don't listen to this." Like at the beginning, they put a warning on, like, "Kids, please don't listen to this." Like,
okay, that reminds me of Jan Arden. I don't know if you've heard of her. Canadian woman, singer songwriter, brilliant songwriter, brilliant singer, and when she's in beautiful music, but when she's in concert, like the in between song banter is filthy and hilarious. She still ranks up there as one of my favorite concerts that I've ever seen, just because it was so wildly entertaining.
Cool. Yeah, like. Yeah, I heard I've heard a bunch of these people that like, are doing these things, and it's really cool that like you can experience them in different ways. Like one of the podcasts I listen to is by a guy called Pete Holmes, who's a comedian, and he's
I think I've heard of that name. Yeah,
yeah, and he does a podcast called "You Made It Weird." I talk about it a lot because it's my favorite podcast. But he's a comedian. He's like, oh yeah, I have a TV show and all this, and I've not seen a minute of his stand-up stuff. But I listen to this podcast because I think all of his points are like really interesting to me to listen to. So I'm curious, like, oh, would I enjoy his stand-up? I probably would. I'd probably very much enjoy it because I really like his humor in his podcasts. But that's just a different way to really experience what he's saying. And yeah, I find it fascinating that I can be like, oh yeah, that's a different. What am I trying to say? It's like, oh, I don't know him for what he's famous for. That's
right.
Yeah, and yeah, that interests me a lot.
You know him through back alley channels.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, I know all this awesome music, and then I got to like, so when I started listening to music, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just Google this type of music and be like, oh, this is the kind of music I guess I like. I don't know. These are the bands I like, and then I'd like look at who influenced them, and then like from there find what genres they were, and then like try and find examples of this kind of music. So I have this massive CD library that's all of these obscure bands that I discovered originally, and then went backwards to their influences, and like initially I discovered Slayer. That's great; they're a big popular band, but I discovered a bunch of other bands as well off that arc. I'm trying to think of some right now, and it's been forever
I'm
since
willing
I've
to bet a
actually
lot of
listened
them were part of the British wave of heavy metal that influenced a lot of American bands starting out. For instance, Slayer, Metallica. A lot of those were influenced by the Motorheads and
Oh yeah, Motorhead, Black Sabbath,
yeah,
and then
and
guess
even the
a
more
bit
obscure
later,
ones. Oh, what?
like,
Who's the Misfits? I think. Yeah, no, they're not British, but
yeah,
oh, there's
Misfits,
a
and you've
bunch.
got like
I used to know this stuff.
Venom, and then that's not. Yeah, that's kind of in the right ilk, but yeah, you've got that kind of stuff, and yeah, you've also got like Hawkwind, and I'm going to say the wrong name now. I can't remember who I mean. I'm not even going to say the name because I can't remember it. That's great. But yeah, I've like oh, I can't remember, but yeah, it's been
Yeah, I'm
crazy. So
really stupefied here today. I know that there's a list. I used to be really into this stuff, and I can't remember a damn thing right now.
Oh, dear.
And I had a 5-hour energy not 20 minutes before we started recording, just so I would actually be half alert when we were doing this. Hasn't kicked in. Damn
it. Oh well. But yeah, like music's fascinating to me, and we've talked about a bunch about music, but music.
Oh yeah,
like there's so many bands, and like yeah, I don't even know what the best album I've heard this year is, because there's been so many different ones, and like from different areas as well. Like the one that's probably my favorite is Soilworks Ride Majestic, which is a really heavy metal band. They're a melodic death metal band, and I'm just like, yes, this is amazing. But there's other albums I've discovered this year that I'm also like, oh, this is really awesome, and it's nowhere near as heavy. It's just prog rock, or it's just soft rock, and it's great. Like the Paris album, which came out, I think, did that come out earlier this year? Paris, I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah,
it's one of those ones that I'm just like, oh, this is so good, and it's like dark electro pop as they describe it, but the metal community's like, they're ours. It's like, metal community, please, just a bit of separation.
I'm actually mixing an album for a band from California right now. We're about 2 mixes in. I delivered the second one this morning. A band called They Stole My Crayon. They're on Facebook, and basically they're 3 audio people who have great musical chops, and the 3 of them decided 4 years ago to get together and make an album. Mm-hmm. And they were going to do it in 6 months, and here it is 4 years later. We're just getting at the mix stage. But it's a lot of the music is just weird enough that I think you would enjoy it greatly. The stuff that the song that I sent off this morning, it's all acoustic guitar, but the vocal arrangements, I think there was like 30 odd vocal tracks.
What?
There was 10 guitars, but they were usually just stereo paired.
Yeah.
but yeah, there was easily 30 vocal tracks, if not more. I again, is the sleep deprivation is screwing with my memory today.
Yeah.
But and they're all, it's all interweaving and all this stuff. And oh, my elbow cracked. That might pick up on the track. And but yeah, it's really cool. You know, kind of way out in left field kind of stuff, but it's still very accessible all at the same time. So I think you'd enjoy it.
Oh,
I really
cool.
do.
I
They've
will
got a couple.
definitely check that out.
Yeah, they got a couple of their demos put on their SoundCloud. So if you want to go check them out, They Stole My Crayon on SoundCloud.
Oh, awesome.
And they are on Facebook too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get to my final point, I guess, and then I'll get you to ask me a question. And my final point that I've written down here is that sometimes I forget how old I am and like what that means. So I'm 26 and I'm very aware that I play games online with people that are... There's other people that are 26. There's people that are older than me. But there's also people that are much, much younger than me. They're like 16. I'm talking about Izzy specifically. Izzy and then you and then some other people as well. They're like 16, 17, 18. I'm just like, oh my, they're much younger than me. And I don't think about that at all because I'm just like, oh, they're just people I've met and they're fun and everything like that. But then when it comes to like work time, I'm just like, yes, I'm working and I'm actually being an adult and being responsible. And I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm in the right place right now. It's just, it's one of those weird things. You're just like, I'm going to keep, I'm just like, it just feels so weird that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go play games with all these people. And then like, you're at work and you're talking about it and everyone's just like, oh, I had some good food last night and we sat and watched some TV. And I'm just like, I played games with my friends? So I don't know.
But see, that all comes within context. Within the context of a gaming environment, age is really kind of irrelevant, right? I mean,
yeah,
you're people who are gaming, let alone, oh, you're a 16-year-old who's gaming versus a 26-year-old who's gaming versus someone like me, 37-year-old occasionally gaming. And like, we're talking very occasional these days. But yeah, I mean, so the context of within which, I mean, you take, and when you say, oh, I went to work, well, that's taking it out of the gaming context. So that's where the separation comes in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that. If you start forgetting where you live, or if you like ate, you might want to get that checked. You might want to like see if there's like some sort of memories issues going on.
Yeah.
Further to that, have you ever had any concussions?
No. I do get hit in the head a lot.
Oh, you're fine then.
Taekwondo, but like, and never concussion, so I'm actually fine. It's more that I just don't remember that I am much older than the people I talk to. Some of the people I talk to. I'm just like, right. They're irresponsible young people whose opinions aren't fully formed on things yet. Who are,
Get off the damn lawn!
Yeah. They might not have the greatest worldview because their opinions aren't fully formed on actual reality and they might not understand everything. So they
just haven't gotten there yet.
Yes, yeah. So that's something I was thinking about. I was just like, oh, my brain. Why am I thinking about this? And I was just like sitting on it earlier. It's like, yes, while I was working. Yes, working and writing notes. So that's okay.
That you had to take pictures of.
Yes. Yeah. Oh dear.
I'll just keep beating that dead horse.
Yep. Okay, well, I guess we've reached the point of the show where I want you to ask me a question and then I can be like, oh, answers.
Excellent. All right. Well, this one is not nearly as subversive as the last one that I asked you. Which that was a no-win situation last time.
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
Which made it really funny.
Yep.
Okay, you're stranded on a desert island.
Okay.
You only have two you can only pick one of two choices of something to keep you occupied.
Okay.
Both are toys.
Okay.
Which do you choose? Lego or Transformers?
Oh no. I know the answer I'm going to give, but I know it's not going to please you because I'm going to choose Lego.
Aha, that would please me.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I know you're a huge Transformers fan as well, but I was just like, oh
Oh
well,
yes,
I'm going to choose Lego because I can do lots of stuff with it, and build
that's
stuff, and like make a
it's
bridge.
it's an exercise in creativity.
Yes,
If you can think of it, you can build it out of Legos.
yes,
Sorry, Lego. It's only you don't tack on the s. No,
yeah,
I figured you were going to say Lego
yeah,
because there's more depth to that toy.
yes. There is. Yeah, it's very.
Coincidentally,
Yeah. Mhm.
coincidentally, by the time my older brother and I donated our Lego set to our younger cousin,
Mhm.
it was 5,000 pieces strong.
There's a whole bunch of pieces like that'll build so much. You could probably
Oh,
just like
we built
build
the
a
Winter
throne.
Olympics one time.
Nice, nice.
But when my cousin finally finished with it, it had grown by another 1,000 pieces. Um, now that my youngest cousins are finished with it, the collection has grown to 15,000 pieces.
What?
It takes up
It's
several Rubbermaid containers. And my cousin, whose kids these are, who had the Legos, ever since my sons were born, she's like, "Well, I know where that bloody set of Legos is going." I said, "They're not coming to Newfoundland because I don't have space for 15,000 pieces of Legos in my house. I would have to move if that showed up on my door. I really would. What am
Well,
I going to do with it?
I suppose you could leave it outside.
No.
Just bring it in box at a time. It wouldn't spoil.
Oh my god. It wouldn't. No, but I mean, I'm guaranteeing if there's any original pieces of the original 5,000 that the set kind of was founded on,
Mhm.
I guarantee you I know there's my DNA is on it somewhere. So I mean that's gonna be all
Or
moldy if I left
gross.
it
Yeah.
outside. Because I mean we played with that endlessly. I mean we actually like cut our fingers on it and all that stuff. So
Yeah. I remember. Lego corners are sharp.
oh yeah,
Really
don't
sharp.
I'm glad there's no. Well, I can't say that there's no Lego in our house because I do actually have a set at home because my older brother and I, for the past few years, we've actually been exchanging small kits of Lego for
Ah,
Christmas.
nice.
So I've got most of it here in the office, but I found a kit the other day and I haven't brought it in yet. That he bought from Legoland in Windsor, England, when he was over there
Nice.
a number of years ago. It was the Ferrari F1 race car.
Oh, cool.
Oh, deadly kit, deadly kit.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'd never want to step on one of those things ever again
No.
because, ow.
Yeah, man.
It's
Ouch.
bad enough I'm stepping on things that Reagan has in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
That's sharp enough. And that's baby toys. I mean, come on.
They're designed to not hurt people, but
Yeah.
I
That
got an email today. I don't know where it was from, but it was just like, oh, there's 2 different Lego Advent calendars coming out. I'm just like, oh my god, that is absolutely happening in December.
are
And
you
so-
serious?
Yeah,
You get
Lego
Lego
Advent
calendars?
There's a regular one, a city one, and a Star Wars one as well. Lego Star Wars. I was like,
Oh, I might get the city one for my
I
older
might-
brother.
I might have to get the Lego Star Wars one so that I can open a Lego every day and build it and be like, yay, all the pieces go together.
Oh, cool. That is
See.
very cool.
Yeah, so I
I
saw
did not
that
know
earlier. I
those
was just like,
existed.
oh my god, I know what I'm getting.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Where can
Sure.
we find you across the internet?
I am on the Rooster Teeth site, Grenou, Grenou.
Awesome.
I am on the Twitter, Spencer in NL, all one word, and I am on SoundCloud. Just search for my name, Spencer Crew, and it should pop up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have all those links in on my Rooster Teeth profile. So if anybody goes to Rooster Teeth and clicks on my profile, there be it.
Cool. Well, this will be tweeted out with you tagged in it, and yes, a link in the description to your profile.
Perfect.
So excellent. Thank you very much for being my guest.
Thanks for having me again.
No problem. And with that, thank you everyone for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.